Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. We're gonna have another chit chat style video today because that's what's been going on in my life recently. Lots of self-reflecting and lots of thinking about things. Recently I've been thinking about boundaries, and I've been extending my thoughts on some of the other videos that I've made about having a fear of what other people think of us. Ultimately, what I've come up with is that having a fear of what other people think of you ultimately comes down to the fact that you're not grounded enough in your own reality. You don't know who you are, or maybe you don't like who you are. What I mean by that is that you don't have enough of a boundary between what you stand for and what other people stand for. So if I was wearing a pair of shoes that I liked and then somebody else said, oh, I don't like them, if I don't have a clear boundary between what is mine and what is yours, then I could let that person's opinion affect how I feel about what I'm wearing, and then ultimately how I feel about myself and the choices that I make. That might sound a bit dramatic, but bear with me. And so in order to kind of strengthen the boundaries between yourself and other people, and to really stand firm in what you want and what you believe and what you like and what your purpose is, we're going to try and answer those questions. I found this activity on the Not Nice website. I'm going to put it down here. And I thought it was so much fun. Callum and I did it recently. We shared it with each other. I'm going to share mine with you as we go through this. But this exercise is ultimately designed to help you feel more grounded in your reality, more sure of what you want, and to have a clearer idea and a clearer understanding of what belongs to you and what belongs to other people. Because if you feel more sure about something, then other people's doubts, other people's biases and perspectives, that affects us less. I generally think that setting better boundaries in your life, it could be a whole other video in itself. So today we're just going to get really clear about who you are and what you want. So this little exercise to get to know yourself better is based on a few questions. So I want you to get a piece of paper or just write it on your laptop or your phone, and you're going to word vomit everything that comes to mind when you think about these questions. I don't want you to edit. I don't want you to backtrack. I just want you to blah. I think if you just take a couple of minutes for each question to answer them. Callum took a couple minutes. I took like 5 or 6 minutes per question. It's really up to you and how you want to do it, or how much time you want to spend on it. But remember, there is no right and wrong answers. Okay? So the first question, just to ease us into it, is what do you love? You could extend this to what do you like, what do you appreciate, and what do you enjoy? So spend 2 minutes writing down everything you can possibly think of, any interpretation of that question, write down your answers. The second question that you're going to answer to try and explore who you are is what do you hate, or what do you dislike? What annoys you? Is there something that bothers you, that pisses you off? What are the things that get your blood boiling? That's the next question that you're going to spend 2 minutes on. The third question is what do you believe? Start each sentence or each phrase with I believe. I believe ba-da-da-da. I believe ba-da-da-da. And that way you get a clearer understanding of what you stand for, what helps guide the choices that you make. What do you believe? You can interpret that as spirituality, as religion, theology, any kind of interpretation of this question you want. What do you believe about relationships? What do you believe about your career? Anything, okay? It just has to start with I believe. You then spend a couple of minutes on that one. This next question can be a little bit trickier if you're just starting off your journey into self-confidence and self-growth, improvement, whatever, but just write down what you can. If you can't find anything, come back to it later, or maybe in a few months' time, if you're still working on this journey, you could start writing down the answers to your questions again, and maybe you'll have a few more things to come up with. This next question is what is great about you? So think about your strengths. What are your endearing qualities? What are your quirks? What are the things that make you you? And the last question, and this is the one that I struggled with the most because I think it's been changing for me, but I think I'm starting to get a better grasp on it all. What is your purpose? Why are you here on this planet? What are you going to do? What do you want to do? What's the point of it all? And I do really want to reiterate, guys, that there is no right or wrong way to answer these questions, because what I answer is going to look so different from you. So I am going to share my answers with you now, and I will admit this feels really, really vulnerable. So be kind, but also just take everything with a grain of salt, because what's important to me might not be what's important to you, but maybe this is a way for you to get to know me a little bit better too, and maybe give you some inspiration for things that you could write down when you answer the questions yourself. So feel free to pause this video now, and you can go and answer all of those questions. Just take a couple of minutes, just get a word vomit, get all of your answers out and write them down, and then come back and I'll be here and I'm ready to share my answers with you. Because once again, the aim of this exercise is to help you feel more grounded, and it's to help you feel like you know and you're so sure of your own reality, because we want to live in our own reality. We know what's ours and we know what belongs to other people. If I know what's mine, then other people's thoughts and opinions, They just slide right off because I know what I stand for and I know who I am. And if other people don't share those values, which they likely won't, then that's okay because I know mine and I'm living in my own world. I'm living in my own reality. I also think I'll just share little bits for each one because I don't want to bore you guys and I don't want you to be here all day. I'm just gonna give you a few ideas, but I've got my whole piece of paper here and then my next page. So I have done it, I promise. So what do I love? I answered with some just like generic things like TV shows that I love, like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I listed people that I love and cherish, like Callum, like my family and like my friends. I listed activities that make me happy and bring me joy, like dancing, even though I'm not great, singing, painting, reading. I listed activities. I listed concepts and values that make me feel joy or that bring me peace, like helping other people, getting tattooed, learning about exercise science, learning about myself. I wrote down colors that I love. I wrote down that I value authenticity and I value people who are able to be vulnerable, drop the mask, and be themselves. I wrote down snacks that I love. I loved grilled cheese. I love the sunshine. I wrote down places. I love Australia, Hong Kong, the UK. I wrote down sourdough bread because if I could eat one meal for the rest of my life, it would be butter and sourdough bread. My Italian ancestors live within me. I wrote down that I love my body. I love my dog, Spike, who is a little old man right now. I love feeling connected to people and learning about others and sharing my experiences with them. And I just love this world. As for what I hate, this is a little bit more depressing. So, I mean, I'm sure we all have a unique list of things that we hate. I wrote down the big things like racism, sexism, war, arrogance. I wrote down I dislike people who refuse to take accountability or who don't have the capacity to self-reflect. I wrote down that I hate violence and I am irritated by people who are so disconnected from their heart. I dislike unconsciousness. I dislike judgment without question, lack of critical thinking, homophobia, transphobia. I dislike people who look down on others because of taking risks that they're too scared to take. It bothers me when I see people who are really inauthentic or people who are so disconnected from kindness, compassion, and empathy. It bothers me when people hurt others or animals without care. There's a few other things on that list, but I'm gonna leave it there. Those are the things that I dislike. Then as we move into what I believe, all of these statements, they should start with I believe. Again, I'll just list off a few. I have like half a page here written down, so I'm not going to word vomit into the camera right now. I'll just read out a few. I believe that authenticity and vulnerability are the key to deep connections and intimate relationships with people around you. And I believe that's key to the relationship with yourself. I believe that movement is for everyone and it has a healing effect on our mind, body, and soul. I believe I can love myself fiercely and treat myself with compassion, empathy, and respect. I believe I can create a powerful love with Callum and with my friends and the people around me who I cherish. I believe that I am a powerful creative force and that I can create the life that I want. I believe that if you genuinely enjoy the process, you never give up and you never stop trying and moving towards what you want, then success is inevitable. I don't necessarily think it has to be attached to one specific outcome if you're enjoying the ride. I believe change is possible if you're willing to do the inner work. I believe in doing what scares you until fear no longer has that power over you. I believe that I am a force to be reckoned with. I believe that working on ourselves has a profound internal effect. And I believe that that internal effect can extend to others and show others how powerful they can be too. Those are some of the things that I wrote down, and those are some of the things that I believe. Again, as we go through this might change. This isn't going to stay the same forever, right? Like I might believe something totally different in 10 years time, but I like that I have a record of it now because more than anything, it shows me what I stand for, and I might change. My mannerisms might change. My skin's going to change. My body's going to change, but it'd be interesting to know how many of the values that I'm saying right now still ring true, or if they do ring true in a few years time. For the next one, and then I completely understand if this one is uncomfortable for you. If you struggle listing down things that are great about you, I'm going to list a few things that are great about me, and I am next to positive that they extend to you if you're watching this, okay? So if you can't see it yet, I want you to know that I do see it. I'm funny, I'm empathetic, I'm compassionate, I'm intelligent, I try my best to be authentic, I'm expressive, I am a great singer, I'm a passionate dancer. I'm creative, I'm beautiful, I'm powerful, I'm continuously trying and growing and learning. I'm ambitious, I'm fun, I'm resilient, I am brave. And I'm not unique. I know that so many of the things that I've listed will extend to all of you as well. So if you can't find anything that you really resonate with, or if you can't find anything that you think relates to you, I'm sure something that I've listed there does. The last question that I want you to write down some word vomit for is, what is my purpose? Now this one, I have to be honest with you, I've kind of like fluctuated throughout. So I wrote a bunch of different statements. I tried to like summarize it at the end. I'll read a couple of the statements for you and then I'll read my little summary. But it took me a while because I think I've kind of been floating. I think in myself, I'm like very spiritual and very hippie. I think I got really distracted by exercise science and like academia and things for a really long time. But I'm kind of learning that I don't have to pick one of those things. I can be a mix of both. And so I'm learning that my purpose is kind of trying to incorporate both of those things. And you'll see what I mean just now as I read these out. One of my purposes is that I am here to create an extraordinary love with Callum and our future family, future pets, or anything that we create together. I am here to shine my own light so brightly that it helps others come home to themselves and do the same. I'm here to combat social conditioning like shame, guilt, and fear. I'm here to combat anything that tries to disconnect us from our intuition, what we know we need, or how we actually feel. I'm here to live by example, stand firm in what I believe. I'm here to share the power of movement, and I'm here to teach people and inspire people to take care of their bodies and to take care of their vessel while they're here on this planet. My expertise, my master's, my bachelor's in exercise and sports science with a focus on strength and conditioning means that I can do that really well, and I can do that safely and effectively for each individual that I'm lucky enough to work with. So those were a few of the statements that I jotted down while I tried to get an idea of it. This is kind of the little summary that I've come up with. I've articulated this better in the days since I wrote down all of this for this exercise, but I'm just going to read to you the raw thing that I wrote down during the couple of minutes that I was doing that word vomit. I want to positively impact and share with as many different people as I can the power of movement and connectedness to the self. And I'm going to do this by trying my best to live authentically, to move my body regularly, by growing and learning and trying and showing others that they can do whatever they set their minds to. So that is my purpose here. Well, that was my raw purpose in that exercise. And so that is everything that I wrote down when I was doing this little grounding exercise to help you live more in your own reality. I learned a lot about myself. I think that a lot of the values I've never really articulated, like I resonate with people who are able to be authentic and vulnerable because I think that's a really, really hard thing to do. That people who own what they love and who are passionate about things, regardless of what that might be. I always admire people who are able to do that. I did write this down a couple of weeks ago, so I have had a little bit of time to reflect on everything that I've written, and I do think that the exercise has helped me have a little bit of a clearer idea. So if we go back to that shoe example that I mentioned in the beginning, if I'm wearing shoes for whatever reason and somebody else doesn't like them, if those shoes align with all of those things that I said I like, what I believe, and what my purpose is, then, and I know that's kind of a leap to assume that shoes could align with that, but I mean, maybe. But if I feel like those shoes are authentic and they help me achieve all of those things, then really other people's opinion doesn't matter, does it? Because I know really clearly who I am, what I want, and I want that for all of you guys too. I hope this exercise helps you guys. If you try it, let me know. You don't even have to write down the answers, but I would just love to know your thoughts of what you got out of this exercise as you did it. I think it's something super helpful. I'm gonna revisit it probably in like January or something in a few months' time and see if anything's changed. So that is it for me today, guys. Thank you for sitting down with me for this little chit chat. I so appreciate you guys taking the time to sit with me and to watch, chat, like, subscribe, doing all the things, and make sure you hit that little notification bell. I hope you all have a wonderful week ahead. And if anything, I hope you are doing something to help connect you to who you are, because you deserve to live an empowered, inspired life, because you are absolutely, like I believe, more than powerful enough to create the life that you want and the life that you've always dreamed of. I will see you next time. I put out new videos every Wednesday and Saturday. Bye, guys.